You are Locked On Phillies Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Your Philadelphia Phillies magic number is down to 4. Thank you very much, Zack Wheeler, going out there and absolutely dominating against the Brew Crew. And as the thumbnail says there, the title page there on the old YouTube channel, right? You powered through the Brew Crew is what you did. Both with Zack Wheeler, popping a minute, 97 miles per hour, baby. 6 strikeouts, keeping guys off balance all night. 4 hits, no walks. Just gives up the RBI. It gives up a triple. That happens. The Nick Castellanos, obviously, he gets you a home run. Oh my goodness gracious! Now you got 3 home runs in 4 games by the Bryce Harper character. Look at this. Phillies win 5-1. Little luck on their side with a nice little RBI infield single. 2 infield singles from Kyle Schwarber tonight. 3 hits in total for Trey Turner. You love to see it. He gets an RBI as well. Johan Rojas gets in on the action. I mean, this game pretty much had it all. Jeff Hoffman did his job. You had Matt Strahm do his job. And most notably, you had Zack Wheeler go out there and do his job to the tune of his 16th win of the season, and the Phillies continuing to help their playoff cause. And look, I know I wasn't with you guys last night. Did we do each other a favor? I mean, it wasn't good on the Eagles side of things either, but holy Stromboli. Watching the Phillies last night, trying to catch up on that game, that was not great. Ranger, concerning. Phillies base running, concerning. Seeing the Phillies go out there and dominate in this victory and shrink that magic number to 4 was fantastic. You know what else was fantastic? It was the Dodgers losing. It was the Braves losing, and those pesky Mets won. I'm on a text chain with some friends of mine, you know, like dudes, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like dudes, you're friends since you're 10 years old. Now you got a text chain going because everyone's got kids now, and it's the way you keep in touch. But we're all texting about how we want the season to go out, whether now the Phillies can get to the century mark and all that. And I said, here's what I want. I would love for them to get to the century mark of 100 wins. The best possible way I could see that happening for the Phils that satisfies everything is that they don't need to play anybody in that final series of the season, as we've talked about before, against the Washington Nationals. And you have a bunch of AAA guys, a bunch of prospects just trying to make their bones a little bit at the major league level. Yeah, that's right. Maybe you see some of these guys come up and actually show what they can do at the big league level. Maybe even, hey, let's get crazy. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Maybe Scott Kingery's coming up and playing against the Washington Nationals. Maybe that happens. Okay. All right. I'll take a breath. All right. Getting a little ahead of ourselves there. Welcome into the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This right here is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and also on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode is brought to you by the wonderful people at FanDuel. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from your YouTube and YouTube TV. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. And speaking of getting started, let's get started as we do each and every day with our 3 big things. Number 3, we're going to go 3-1, okay? Nick Castellanos got you on the board. Trea Turner had 3 hits. Trey Turner had an RBI. Trey Turner had a run scored. Oh, my goodness. Where do I go with this? I'm going to keep it with Trey Turner. I watched him tonight, and he looked like the guy that you have wanted him to be for the last month. And for the last week or so, you have really seen him come into his own again. He goes out there tonight, and he helps get things going for the Phils with a single in the 3rd inning just to get some offense going. That was sandwiched around some missed opportunities, I'll call it, all right? In the 3rd inning, there was some controversy surrounding Trey Turner. Upon first glance, so he gets his first hit of the ball game in the 3rd inning. There's 2 outs in the inning. There's 1 out in the inning. Kyle Schwarber strikes out on a splitter. Turner gets the single to center field. Bryce Harper comes up, strikes out on a splitter. Then Nick Castellanos steps up to the plate. Let's pause it right there. I know everyone's going to talk about whether or not there was the controversy of him being out or safe at second base, Trey Turner, when he was called out. Personally, I think he was out, and we'll get to that. But on that stolen base attempt, Nick Castellanos missed an absolute cookie. He missed an absolute cookie. Oh, man, it was inner half of the plate, took a big hack at it, fastball, missed it, unfortunately, and then they make the throw to second base, and they get Trea Turner. Now, when I first looked at it, I went, oh, he never tagged him. Trey never tagged him. What are you calling him out? What are you, crazy? And then the Phillies, boom, just like that, they're challenging it. And Turner was, upon further review, the call was upheld. Whenever you see the call being taking forever, you can pretty much assume, unfortunately, that it's going to be inconclusive at least. And the call is whatever the call was going to be, or whatever the call was, is going to stand. So that's exactly what ended up happening on that play. So you now don't have a runner on scoring position. You're already up 1-0. You're hoping you can pad the lead a little bit. You're also hoping Nick Castellanos is red hot this game. And unfortunately, wasn't the case, as he made it out in the following inning anyway, grounding out the second base. But Turner gets his first hit of the ball game. Then later in the game, Phillies are looking to get something going again. Trey Turner gets on base ahead of Bryce Harper with another hit. You see Harper step up to the plate, and he is able to deliver. This time with a 2-run home run. Kyle Schwarber is actually on base at this point. Turner ended up striking out just before Harper, but you see Harper get the home run. That was great. Then again, Turner comes up with a runner on his scoring position in Johan Rojas. Rojas goes up there, works the walk, steals second. Turner brings him home for a little bit more of an insurance run on the 5-1, the fifth and final run there by the Phils. Love to see it right there. Going to number 2. I got to look at Bryce Harper. The power was not there for 30 games. And I know he had 2 of the home runs in one game. If he has any stretch where he's hitting 3 home runs in a 4-game stretch, I am doing cartwheels, and I attempted one in my living room while watching the game. It did not go well, but you know it did go well. Bryce Harper swinging a good bat. He said, I caught his a little bit of his post-game interview. He said he did think it was out. Looking at his reaction as he was rounding the bases, it did not look like he thought that ball was out. He knew it was out. I was hoping that he thought it was out, because when he made contact, he did a little admiring as the ball was jetting out there to left center field. He admired a little bit. He admired. Didn't bust it. We've seen him get in trouble for that before. But he said he knew it was gone. Fine by me. Either way, 2-run home run. Phillies go from a 1-1 game, then all of a sudden in the blink of an eye, to a 3-1 lead. And you feel pretty fantastic about that. Then Kyle Schwarber gets the extra added bonus, which is good, followed by Trey Turner's extra insurance run there in the 9th inning. So I go Trey Turner with his 3-hit night. I go Bryce Harper with his 3rd home run in 4 games, his 29th home run of the season. And then number 1, obviously, Zack Wheeler. Like, you know how sometimes throughout the season we could talk about Ranger Suarez being the ace of the staff, or Ranger Suarez being that 1A, or at points in the season, Aaron Nola being 1A. Let's make no mistake about it. Zack Wheeler is the number 1 guy in this Phillies rotation, and Zack Wheeler is at worst number 2 in baseball. Chris Sale's having a fantastic season, but oh my goodness gracious, watching Zack Wheeler pitch this year has been a treat, especially down the stretch. You're watching a guy in Zack Wheeler go out there tonight, especially in his 30th start of the season, top out at 97 miles per hour. And I saw a stat from MLB.com's Todd Zalecki about what Trey Turner was able to do in this start with that 97 mile per hour fastball. And how about this? His 97 mile per hour fastball in the 4th inning was the 3rd hardest pitch in the 4th inning or later this season. Not bad. That's for Zack Wheeler. So he's keeping that velocity, and you bet he has got movement. Whether it's his sinker, whether it's his 4-seamer, whatever he is throwing, it is full of life as it goes across that plate. And then there were a number of instances today where you thought, oh, this guy just has the good stuff tonight. You look at the way he was able to go out there in the 1st inning, a 9-pitch 1st inning, got Chourio to go down on that sinker, looking at that sinker at the knees. Then he goes into the 2nd inning. He had a 20-pitch inning this time around, gets Adams, at this point, to strike out on a fastball up. Hoskins, he struck out on the sweeper. He had that going for him tonight. But really, his bread and butter pitch tonight was the fastball. 99 pitches for Zack Wheeler through 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, most of them by way of the fastball. The Churio strikeout that he had was on a high 97-mile-per-hour fastball. That was the strikeout Todd Leckie was alluding to in the 4th inning. Unfortunately, that's also the inning that they ended up getting to Zack Wheeler for their only run on the Mitchell RBI triple to center field. But you just saw him, other than that one inning, really just go out there and dominate. He had the 20-pitch 2nd inning. He had a 21-pitch 4th inning. And then after that, listen to this and how much he was in control here. 11 pitches in the 5th, 10 pitches in the 6th, 11 pitches in the 7th inning. That's not a bad day at the office there for Zack Wheeler. And look, when you look at this series and how it could shape up here with the Brewers, there are a lot of concerns that you could obviously point to here when it comes to their bats maybe coming to life. They're fighting, obviously, for their division. They're fighting for their playoff lives in that regard. This is a huge series for them, and it's a huge series for the Phillies because they want to be in the best shape possible before going on and facing the New York Mets for that 4-game series in Flushing after tomorrow. So Zack Wheeler going out there tonight and doing what he did was exactly what aces do. And not only, once again, is he an ace or the ace of your staff, quite clearly the ace of your staff, especially as of late, Zack Wheeler is also the guy that goes out there and gets you the big win against a good ball club. A ball club that unfortunately took it to a guy that has not had his best stuff in Ranger Suarez, but Zack Wheeler went out there tonight and made sure that he had his best stuff for the ball club tonight, and the bats were there to back it up. Whether it was a 97-mile-per-hour powerful fastball, whether it was a 430-foot blast by Nick Castellanos for home run number 21, or whether it was that 2-run home run by Bryce Harper, the Phillies had the power tonight to get by the Brew Crew, and I absolutely love that. We'll talk about hopefully a little bit of redemption for Aaron Nola going into tomorrow night's game. We'll also take a look around the rest of the National League East and see the way things shaped up tonight. And we'll also, as we always do, take your comments. But my big 3 for today, I got to go Trey Turner with the 3-hit night. I got to go Bryce Harper with the 2-run home run to break the tie. And then I got to go to Zack Wheeler for just wheeling and dealing as we have been so accustomed to him doing. Also, it might be moderate, but seeing him get a sub 260 ERA, and now I believe the ERA is at 254 or 256 now for Zack Wheeler after tonight's performance. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. 256. 65 strikes out of the 99 pitches he threw. Not too bad. When we come back, we'll take a look at some other guys in this lineup that we're looking to break through and get something going for themselves. We'll break that down. We'll also take your comments coming up a little bit later in the show. Also, this is Locked On Sports Philadelphia, Locked On Phillies Postcast, and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back in a second. Let me tell you about Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the most exciting and easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps on Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Prize Picks is the only real money fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half of a football game, let's say, and doesn't return, Prize Picks has got you. With Prize Picks, you're still live. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast and safe and secure. When my picks hit, as a matter of fact, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. That's how fast you can cash out. How great is that? Download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's promo code LOCKEDONMLB on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even have to win to receive the 50 bonus bucks. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game when it comes to Prize Picks. Talking about a couple of guys in this lineup, this was a kind of about face of a game for a lot of these guys. We've talked a lot about how the difference between a great team and a very good team are the guys that aren't getting the big bucks, the guys that are not hitting 1 through 5. It's the guys hitting 6 through 9 in the order. about how those guys are able to come up and help you. Those guys at the bottom of the order. Today was not an example of that. Today was an example of the top of the, the upper echelon guys in your lineup going out there and doing their jobs. Whether it was little nubs, little check swing there from Kyle Schwarber for an infield single, or whether or not it was a ball hit up the middle off the heel of Ashby, I believe it was, for Kyle Schwarber to get credited for an RBI single, an infield RBI single, just like that. The bounces were in the Phillies' favor tonight, especially when I know it was a big conversation point during the game tonight. You saw an instance there where that ball caromed off of, again, I think it was Ashby's heel, rolls into shallow right field, and out of nowhere, that ball just starts scooting. And whether it was the Mitchell triple or whatever it was, that ball would take off once it hit the grass there, the turf in Milwaukee. So watching that play out the way it did in the earlier innings made me think that that was absolutely going to score the run. And I think it was Edmundo Sosa at that point that came around to score from second base on that ball that went into shallow right field off the bat of Kyle Schwarber and off the heel of Ashby. Things like that were working out great. Those are usually things you're going to see from the bottom tier guys, not the upper tier guys like Kyle Schwarber, who almost went yard again tonight, just missed one, unfortunately. But then you get other opportunities there, whether it's the big hit from Nick Castellanos or the home run from Bryce Harper, Trey Turner hitting again, and then you had another output there from Bryson Stott. Seeing him get a single tonight is good. You always feel like Stott's about to break through, and it just hasn't happened yet this season. But seeing him at least come up there with that base hit, I believe it was to right field, that helped get things going for him a little bit. You hope it can do that in the near future for him because they're obviously going to need his bat going into the postseason. And Brandon Marsh did something, and I did not expect this, but it happened. For his only hit of the night, he laid down a beautiful bunt single. And we've seen instances this year where he's been called upon to bunt, few and far between, but it's happened, especially if they want to keep him in the lineup if he's going to face a left-handed pitcher. And seeing him at least work on that bunt, albeit that the bunt single came off a righty, seeing him at least work on that in a game, even if it is bunting for a single, I want to see him perfect it. Because there's going to be instances there where you're going to want to keep him in that lineup, even if they bring a lefty in to face him. If you got a runner on first and second, for instance, and nobody out, you want to advance those runners and keep Marsh in, have him lay down that bunt. So I actually like seeing that. Sosa got a hit for you tonight. Great to see him back in the lineup tonight. Comes right back in and gets a double down the right field line, puts that one into the corner. So happy to see that for those guys in the Phillies lineup today. And you want to continue to see that as the season goes on and really winds down and you really solidify your space in the postseason. Seeing those guys do it was great. The other thing I want to focus on is Matt Strahm coming in and Jeff Hoffman coming in. You got handed a gorgeous, sparkling gem from Zack Wheeler. The 99 pitches, the double play that he had, for instance, in the sixth inning to keep things tight, that making it only a 10-pitch inning. He went into the sixth inning at 78 pitches. He went into the seventh inning at 88 pitches. Seeing him only need 11 to get through that one, that made it so much easier for the bullpen. And these guys, just like starting pitchers, you're trying to save some bullets for the postseason. Strahm came in, worked a little bit, but was able to get through it after a leadoff single and a full count to Rhys Hoskins. Then you saw Hoffman come in the bottom of the ninth inning, and he took care of business in the bottom of the ninth inning to make sure that the Phillies continued to go through that game unscathed after that one run surrendered by Zack Wheeler earlier in the ball game. But you see Hoffman go out there, 9 pitches. As I mentioned, Matt Strahm went out there. He labored a little bit, 24 pitches in total, needing 15 of them for strikes, and still being able to win 2 of the battles when it comes to strikeouts. You love to see that from a guy you can rely on in the 7th or 8th inning of a game. So seeing your bullpen come in and do their job as well and slam the door shut, it couldn't have played out better for this Phillies team. And I know Rob Thompson is going to want to rest some of these guys as the season winds down. You got to clinch before you do anything, or you can even really consider that. But this at least sets you up for that long haul, especially when you're talking about a very important series coming up against the New York Mets. When we come back, we'll take a look at what's going to go on for tomorrow's game. Aaron Nola on the bump for the Phils. We'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about what's going to happen in this Mets series coming up and take your comments on this game as well. This is Locked On Phillies postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Back in a few. FanDuel. FanDuel's fantastic. You've heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Well, they have something a little bit different for you. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with a YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. Just visit FanDuel.com and download America's #1 sportsbook. You could get great odds on the World Series. For instance, the Dodgers going into tonight, plus 310, dwindling a little bit to win the World Series, going off at plus 310. Phillies at plus 450. The New York Yankees at plus 490. Astros at plus 800, the Orioles plus 900, and the Cleveland Guardians plus 1,300. As for the Super Bowl, Eagles took a little bit of a hit yesterday as well. Kansas City Chiefs going off right now at plus 490. San Francisco 49ers still at second right there with a plus 650. Bills at plus 950. Texans 1,000. Detroit 1,200. And the Eagles going off at plus 1,200 as well. Just go to FanDuel.com. That's America's #1 sportsbook. Download the FanDuel app or go to FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. The way it shapes up right now for your Philadelphia Phillies, Aaron Nola slated to make the start against Freddie Peralta, Freddie Peralta tomorrow. Aaron Nola, 1 win better than Peralta on the season. He's 12-8. Peralta is 11-8 on the season. Nola comes in at with a 3.62 ERA, and of course he's coming off not such a great start. Really not such a great last 2 starts. 10 earned runs, 11 runs in total over his last 2 starts, and he has not been able to make it to 5 innings worth of work. He has checked out against Miami at 4 2/3. He checked out against the New York Metropolitans at 4 1/3. 6 runs against the Mets, 4 earned runs against the Marlins, 5 runs in total. That's a little scary. And over those last 2 games, the thing that always seems to come back and bite Aaron Nola in the big old New Orleans behind is the home run. 4 home runs over the last 2 games, 4 walks also issued in those games. That's not the Aaron Nola we have seen for the majority of the season. And I said this after his last start. Nola going out there against the Mets in his last start was vintage Aaron Nola for the Aaron Nola haters and the Aaron Nola doubters. Seeing him go out there in that start did not look like the same guy that we had seen through the majority of the season, and unfortunately had back-to-back really bad starts, which has been not really a thing for him this year. Last year, definitely a thing for him. This year, not so much. So hope for the best version of him tomorrow. Taijuan Walker, I know, is getting a start in here somewhere. That's one thing I did see while I was depressed about the Eagles yesterday, that they did elevate Walker Thursday. Okay, so not tomorrow, but Thursday. Walker will go against Luis Severino. 7:15 start time. Fox start time Thursday night. Let's see what you guys had to say about this Phillies victory and the Phillies magic number being now 4. Harper is back, says Morgan Landy. Actually, he never left. His power is back. There you go. Fair enough. Wheeler to the rescue. Long ball is king again. Outstanding performance. So, IBH, I was thinking about this during the game because Castellanos hit the home run. And I don't know, I just had a bad vibe that was going to be it for a while. I no way expected the Phillies to all of a sudden have a 2-run home run from Harper or a couple other insurance runs from Kyle Schwarber or Trey Turner or whoever. But I just didn't have a good feeling. So I was looking at the standings. And I don't know, this might just be an obvious thing. But for the people that just want to say if they don't hit home runs, they don't score. Like pretty much everybody that's either in the playoffs or within 2 games of the playoffs, they all hit for the most part, with the exception of a couple, like the A's, for instance, they all hit bombs. Like home runs are good. I understand that they're not what you should live and die by, but it seems like a lot of these teams that are in the playoffs or at least 2 games within the playoff race, maybe 90% of them, 95% of them, those are all teams that are hitting bombs this year. The interesting thing would be to see if they're percentage of runs, like how many, like the percentage of runs by homer, what that looks like. Bam Man 100. We score on the long ball and the small ball. Very small ball, as a matter of fact. Let me look at that. Ashby was pitching. Yeah, he pitched the 7th inning. Sosa got the double. Wilson struck out pinch hitting for Cal Stevenson. How dare you take out Cal Stevenson? No. Schwarber then gets the infield single off the heel of Ashby. Yeah, there it is. And then Turner got the single. That was the second hit of the game. Bang, bang, boom. 4-1 Phils. Farzy can't bench the bar. Hello. Farzy, good outing by Wheeler, and maybe you are right, and Bryce's power is coming back in bunches now. Here's how it works. Bryce Harper could very easily have a 6-7 home run month all of a sudden. Get him to the 30 home run mark again. I believe that would be the 3rd time in a Phillies uniform he had 30 home runs in a season. Yeah, I'll take that from Bryce. I believe it's 3rd time it would be for him. Punch that up right quick. Holy Stromboli. 35 home runs in his first year with the Phils, 35 home runs in 2021, and then he's sitting on 29 right now. So yeah, it'd be his 3rd 30-plus homer season with the Phils. Yeah, that's right. I'll take it. Tim, what's happening? Wheeler is just freaking amazing. Good to see Harper and Casty going long ball tonight. I'm telling you, I know the throw to second that got Turner out. Excuse me, the pitch that he tried to steal second on. It's a better way to say that. It was about a 95-mile-per-hour fastball in. Not jammed by any means, but in. And Casty took a swat at it. And it's one of those swings that if there was just a little bit of contact, that ball's going a far, far way. Evelyn, hello. Wheeler just awesome tonight. Nice to see the top of the order. There you go, Evelyn. You and I are on the same page. Hit all around. That's great. Crazy. I mean, it's sadly Chris Sale as far as the Cy Young, but maybe next year, yeah. Dan Saeed, what's happening? Bro, where's Farzy? I need to go to bed. Sorry. Getting some things hooked up in the studio to give you the best quality broadcast I can. Farzy cartwheeling and dealing. Hell yeah. Joe Biden is the president. Oh, hello. That's an interesting handle. Has anyone seen Joe? I haven't. Joseph Murphy. Wheeler was great. Nolan needs to follow suit with more of the same on Wednesday. Did Farzy just really drop a Johnny Peralta? I did. And Miss Scusi. Yeah. Definitely not Johnny Peralta. And now I'm gonna want to say Johnny Peralta again, but I'm not gonna do it. You know why I'm not gonna do it? Because I'm a professional. That's why I'm not gonna do it. So now all I can think about is Johnny Peralta, and I don't want to think about just Johnny Peralta. I want to nail this name. Freddie. Yeah, that's hilarious. Great win by the Phils. Don't get me started on the Eagles. Yeah, Frank. Yeah, that was not great. What's the magic number now? 4. Philip Pearson. The Phillies' magic number is now 4. The magic number to just clinch the playoffs for the Phils is 1. I mentioned earlier we're going to talk about going around the league here. The Dodgers lost to the Miami Marlins. That's a shame. The Marlins are 56-95 now. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are 89-62. Ha! Ha ha! That Berger fella hit a home run, a 2-run home run that got it up to 11-7 in favor of the Marlins. They jumped out by the second inning to a 4-0 lead. Let's see here. Berger had an RBI ground out and then came up in the 8th inning with a home run to really put some distance in there. That was great. You love to see it. As for the Braves had a close one. They lost to the Reds 6-5. That's how that one went down. The Cincinnati Reds were down 5-1 in the 4th inning. And then in the 4th, they scored a run, a sac fly RBI. Then Marte got a double. They made it a 5-4 game, scoring 2 runs, 1 on an error, and then Steer hit a 2-run home run. Holy wow. That's pretty damn good. Wait, Steer is the... No, I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, so that's the way that went down. Either way, Braves lost. The Mets won, unfortunately. I wish I could give you better news there, but they got the Nationals. And, you know, things aren't that good. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful as per usual. Make sure you guys hit like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Oh, whoa. I don't think I got one thing in here from John Marinelli. I got to do that. Had to pound an iced coffee to stay awake for the first 6 innings or so, but solid win. After last night's Eagles game, yeah, I agree with you. Existentialism tyrant. Nice to see Harper have some power back. Wheels was phenomenal. Ari! Brewers suck, says our resident Cardinals fan. Thank you, Ari. Nice to see you. Yep. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Oh, the Diamondbacks are losing 8-2. What inning is that? Maybe I'll just stay on with you guys for another bottom of the 8th inning. Nope, not doing it. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe to that. Hit like and all that fun stuff. And also hit your notifications too. You know what I'm saying? My name is Mark Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow night after the Phillies win this series against the Brew Crew. Right, Aaron Nola? Right. That's my Aaron Nola impression. See you guys tomorrow night. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Bye.